All right, folks, gather round. The UK government just dropped a cool £500 million on Tata Steel. That's right, £500 million. You could buy a lot of fish and chips with that kind of dough. But instead, they're throwing it at, well, steel. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive deep into this international economic thriller. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would they do that? Good question. See, the steel industry is kind of like the Hulk, big, powerful, and a little bit volatile. It's essential for construction, manufacturing, and a whole bunch of other things we rely on every day. But lately, the UK steel industry has been feeling a little rusty, facing stiff competition from global players. That's where Tata Steel comes in. They're a global steel giant, and they own a big chunk of the UK's steel production. But even giants can stumble. They've been facing some tough times, and the UK government got worried. They started sweating, thinking about the potential fallout. So, they decided to intervene. Here's the thing about the steel industry. It's not just about making metal beams. It's a cornerstone of the entire manufacturing sector. Think of it like the Iron Man suit for the economy. Without it, everything else starts to fall apart. When the steel industry sneezes, the whole economy catches a cold. Thousands of jobs are directly linked to steel production, from the factory workers to the engineers to the truck drivers who transport the goods. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Then you've got the indirect impact. Local businesses that rely on steelworkers' spending, suppliers who provide materials to the factories, and so on. It's a ripple effect, and the government knows it. They've seen what happens when industries collapse, and it ain't pretty. Ghost towns, soaring unemployment, and a whole lot of economic pain. Let's be real, folks. Politicians love to talk about jobs. It's their bread and butter, their go-to move when they need a win. And in this case, the potential job losses from a collapsing steel industry were a political nightmare. Imagine the headlines. Government stands by as steel industry crumbles. Thousands face unemployment. Not exactly a recipe for re-election, is it? So, the government saw this £500 million investment as a way to kill two birds with one stone. Or should I say, one giant pile of cash. They get to save a critical industry and protect thousands of jobs, all while looking like economic superheroes. It's a win-win, right? Well, not so fast. Section 4. A global game of hot potato. The thing is, the steel industry is a global game, and right now, it's a bit of a mess. China in particular has been flooding the market with cheap steel, undercutting prices and making it tough for everyone else to compete. It's like they're playing a game of hot potato and no one wants to get burned. So, the UK government's decision to bail out Tata Steel was partly a way to buy some time. They're hoping that this cash injection will give the company enough breathing room to adapt, innovate, and become more competitive on the global stage. But it's a risky gamble. There's no guarantee that this £500 million will be enough to turn the tide. And some critics argue that it's just delaying the inevitable. That eventually, the UK will have to face the music and accept that its steel industry just can't compete with the global big boys. Section 5. The price of saving an industry. Spoiler, it's pricey. Now £500 million is a lot of dough, like a lot. To put it in perspective, that's enough to buy everyone in the UK a round of tea and biscuits, twice. So it's natural to wonder if it's worth it. What are the taxpayers getting in return for this hefty investment? Well, the government argues that it's an investment in the future. They claim that by saving the steel industry, they're protecting jobs, boosting the economy, and securing a vital strategic asset. They point to the potential for green steel production and the industry's role in building a sustainable future. But critics argue that it's a band-aid solution, a temporary fix to a much larger problem. They say that the government should be focusing on investing in new industries, creating jobs in growing sectors, and preparing for the future, rather than clinging to the past. Section 6. So, did they get a good deal? Time will tell. So there you have it. The UK's £500 million gamble on Tata Steel. Was it a brilliant move or a desperate Hail Mary? Honestly, it's too early to tell. Only time will tell if this investment pays off or if it goes down as another cautionary tale of government intervention in the market. One thing's for sure though, this is a story with global implications. It highlights the challenges facing traditional industries in an increasingly competitive world. The political pressures governments face in trying to balance economic realities with social responsibility, and the high stakes involved in trying to pick winners and losers in the global marketplace. So buckle up folks, this ride's far from over.